Sports Hub.
And a 1-1 from the Sox closer. Ground ball to third. Bregman to second one under first, and that's it. Around the horn for the double play to end it, and the Red Sox win the home opener. Got a little nervous there at the end, but the Sox win it 13-9.
I love a couple miscues here in the ninth, but when it matters, the ground ball to Bregman, over to Campbell, they turn two and they end this game. The bats woke up here today, Obi. The bottom line is they scored more than they did. Right?
13 runs, 16 hits for the Red Sox today.
Alex, how just good of a day was this for you in your ball?
Love it. I mean, we got a good team, and I think the fans are responding to it. We just got to keep working hard and make this a real tough environment for the opposition.
Let's try that again. Okay, so a win is a win is a win. This is where we're going to start on the baseball hour. I couldn't press the freaking button to turn my mic on. I pressed it 3 times. It didn't turn up blue.
Same.
My goodness.
Blue buttons.
617-779-0985 is your number here on the baseball hour. Typically what we do on Fridays, as you all know, Roundtable Friday, Matt McCarthy, Tyler Milliken. But 2 things today. 1, Milliken's not here. We would normally do the roundtable without him. Milliken actually went to his first ever home opener today.
How about
can you imagine that?
Actually, knowing Tyler, yes, I can imagine that.
Seriously.
Wi-Fi not so great at Fenway Park, up to his standards at least.
So Tyler was at the game. Apparently he did some sort of pregame live show with Section 10 podcast and our buddy Jared Carabas and that crew. So he was over there today. My guess is that by now Tyler is completely polluted and is laying under some sort of bench somewhere, would be my guess. That's number 1. Number 2, because it's opening day, we really should do more of a game follow, which we'll get into some big picture stuff with the Red Sox. What you just heard there is Alex Cora after the final out of the game, 13-9. I want to play for you some of the Cora sound after the game right off the top because I think he hit on the main issues. And I should tell you quickly, I have not heard these cuts. I just know what they are about. Okay, but first, let me tell you this. Final score was 13-9. The Red Sox are now 4-4 after 8 games. And while they won the game, I would tell you that what happened over at Fenway Park tonight or today was nothing remotely close to winning baseball. So they won the game, but it wasn't winning baseball. And I'll go through the particulars here in a minute, but the pitching wasn't good. Certainly the Red Sox scored runs, and I would hope they would given the way that the Cardinals pitched. The defense in this game wasn't good. They scored 13 runs. I think they finished with 16 hits, and yet they had to get their closer up in the 9th inning with men on base for a save situation. So that should tell you plenty about how things went down. And the defense, statistically, again, 3 errors could have been worse. They could have had at least 4. There was one, I think, that they got away with, maybe even more than one. But anyway, we'll start there.
They should have had 5 errors today. Duran had a horrible misplay in the outfield that led to some Cardinals runs early in the game.
So, Jimmy, I'm just going to go sort of haphazardly here, so bear with me.
Sure, I'm here till 7.
The first one is Alex Cora on the reception. Rafael Devers got him. Before we play that, Jimmy, I heard mostly cheers for Devers, but there was a little bit of an undercurrent of groaning. Did you hear that, or was that just me?
I heard.
Sorry, I was going to say the radio broadcast did say that there was a smattering of boos for Devers.
So let's go ahead and play Alex Cora 4.
How nice was it to see the reception that Rafi got from when he was introduced to the end with the RBI hit? Like he was just getting so much love from the fans after.
He's always gotten love. There's nothing different. They love Rafi. They love when Rafi hits. Obviously he didn't get off to the start we wanted, but we were in Texas. We expected to come here, and they're going to embrace him regardless if he's going well or bad. So that didn't surprise me.
Okay, so I don't know that that's always true. There have been plenty of Red Sox players over the years that got booed at Fenway Park. I thought the question, based on, again, this is the first time I'm hearing it too, but I thought the question was kind of leading. What about the positive reception? Matt, you just said the radio said there was some boos.
Yeah, a smattering of boos. I mean, I think, listen, there were cheers, and I'll be honest, Maz, I was not, sitting down at my TV when the team was introduced, so I can only go based on what was reported on the team radio broadcast. But yeah, there was a smattering of boos for Devers, but mostly cheers.
Okay, Jimmy, let's go to caller number 5 on the performance of starting pitcher Walker Buehler.
How would you characterize Buehler's day?
It wasn't great. He knows it. He didn't execute his breaking ball, the Bullpen play. That's a pretty good offensive club. They got some left-hander there that they put them on play. They hit the ball out of the ballpark. They're good hitters. We've seen them a few years now, especially in this venue. They've done a good job against us.
Okay, so Cora talks about the St. Louis hitters. I'll tell you that Buehler has been bad in both games. And he pitched well at the start of spring training. He did not pitch well for the Dodgers during the regular season. He was very good for them in the postseason, but again, in short bursts, high intensity, high focus games. The good news is that Buehler is in a free agent year, so it would mean something to him to have a good season. I don't think he's tanking it or dogging it or doing anything like that. But the performance, frankly, not even close to good enough. Buehler's going to have to be better. Houka's going to have to be better. So far, both of those guys through 2 starts have kind of stunk. Maybe not even kind of. Jimmy, let's go to Alex Cora number 7 on Christian Campbell, if we could, please.
Was it good to see Campbell come back and turn the last one after things didn't go his way in the ninth for the most part?
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit down on himself, but that's part of it. That's part of the growing process. That ball to right field, I guarantee you, next time he's not going to call it. We got the best defensive right fielder in the league. So he got to learn that quick. And that's going to happen. It's part of being a rookie in the big leagues. And the good thing is that he won't repeat the same mistake.
Okay, so let's hope he doesn't repeat the mistakes. And by the way, let me tell you that Christian Campbell, again, defense is the one thing you're going to have to watch. I think we've all come to the conclusion that the kid has a bat and can hit. He sprays the ball around the field. He's got some power. He's got good plate discipline overall. There's a lot to like at Campbell at the plate. The truth is he should have had 2 errors in today's game. He dropped a pop-up in right field. He ranged to his right to field a ground ball, and then in making the transition to his hand to flip it to Story for the start of what should have been a game-ending double play, he dropped it. So that to me, or he fumbled it, call it whatever you want. But the transition is part of the play. You drop the ball, it's an error. They didn't call it an error for some reason, probably just who knows why. They don't call anything errors anymore for the most part. So should have been an error. I'm not picking on him. I'm just telling you it is what it is. So we like the player. Keep an eye on the defense. Jimmy, one more if you could, because the Red Sox, I saw this stat on NESN concerning the number of double plays they've turned in the major leagues this year, that they rank first in double plays, which I'll get to in a minute. But Cora was asked about the double plays, including the ones that they missed. Alex Bregman threw a ball into right field that could have also been a double play. So I will tell you that Bregman, Campbell, Casas, who dropped a simple throw from Trevor Story. The throw wasn't simple, the catch was. But it was a good throw from Story. Casas dropped it. That was another error. They made 3 in the game, all in the infield, but Cora on the double plays.
You talked about you need to be able to turn double plays. You got some big ones today.
Yeah, we did. It's really good. Obviously, at the end, we didn't make plays, and you saw what happened. But overall, a good defensive team that we are, and we're turning plays, we're making plays, and those are game changers.
Okay, so now again, the double plays I'll get to in a minute. I will say overall, Matt, their defense to this point in the year has been pretty good. I don't know if I'd call it great, but solid is how I would describe it. There haven't been a lot of misplays or things like that. There haven't been a lot of mental mistakes. I haven't mentioned this yet this week. Alex Bregman got picked off first base the other night. Totally was, didn't read the pitcher at all, had decided he was going to go and just got completely naked over there and got picked off. So I don't like seeing that. They did, in defense of Campbell, he did turn one very good double play with Bregman. And so, and it was a smooth, quick turn with a strong throw. So that's good to see. But again, it's all about consistency at this level and your ability to do it over and over again. The fact that the Red Sox have turned 13 double plays, I think that's what the number is. NESN just showed it. People are going to make a big deal of this and that, okay, now they're turning double plays. And for the most part, they are. It's not about the volume of double plays. In fact, if you lead the league in double plays, it's a bad sign.
Right. It means you've got too many guys on base.
Right. You're putting guys on base all the time. You don't want that. What you want is a high percentage of double play turns. When the opportunity is there, you want to turn it. So when you botch one in the 9th inning, that should concern you. So anyway, I just wanted to get to that stuff in the immediate aftermath of the game. But again, I would say my summation in a nutshell, they won the game. It was not winning baseball, not by a long shot. Your thoughts?
No, today wasn't winning baseball by a long shot, Maz, but they won the game. The last week, though, to me has been, for the most part. The Texas series wasn't great because they didn't hit with runners in scoring position, but they did a lot of things in that series. They pitched, they defended, they had a good series in Baltimore. Like, on the whole, they're 4-4 after the first week of the season. I think they've played some pretty good baseball. Like, I'm not going to look at today and say, well, the defensive problems are back. Because I'd actually look at the first 7 games and say they were a better defensive team than they showed today. Campbell is still a concern at second base. There's no doubt about it. He has hit enough to justify his spot on this roster. I don't think anybody would say that. Even you or I, Maz, who questioned last week whether or not he was ready for the big leagues. He probably still is not ready for the big leagues from a consistency standpoint defensively, but you will take it with how much he's hit. But that 9th inning is indicative of a problem. Like, to me, it kind of spiraled. It kind of steamrolled for the Red Sox in the field today. They made one error, then they made another, then they made another. It certainly steamrolled for Campbell, who made one, was tough on himself, then didn't make the next play. It's not necessarily the double play that was the biggest problem. It's the pop-up that he dropped when he called off Buehler Abreu. So that kind of snowballed on him a little bit. He's going to have to learn from that. But overall, Maz, first week, pretty good. And they did what they had to do to win this game today, even though it wasn't totally sustainable. I think what you've seen from the first week, though, has been much more sustainable than what you saw today.
Well, look, after Monday, they were 1-4. So now they're 4-4. Everybody's certainly satisfied with that, given where they were. But 500 is not going to get you anywhere. If you want to be a wise ass about it, 85-85. And their last 170 games going back to last year. So nobody's looking for 500. We're all looking for better than that. They know it and we know it. So, again, 617-779-0985. We will take your calls throughout the hour on this home opener or home opening day over at Fenway Park, which is always a notable event. And at the end, the 1975 team was honored today. I want to touch on it at the end of the show because of Louis Tiant, who passed away last August. And you would have a hard time finding, both in the organization and out of it, many players loved more than Louis Tiant, one of the all-time beloved Red Sox players. And, today's a good time, I think, given the acknowledgement of that 75 team over at Fenway, to just talk about Louis quickly at the end of the program. Quickly, Gino in a car on Alex Cora. Go ahead, Gino.
Hey, Maz, what's going on? So I know what you guys are saying when it's like, okay, the pitching wasn't great at the end of the game, but the bottom line is, if Alex Cora decides to leave in Bernardino, then we wouldn't have had this issue to begin with, because he didn't have a lot of opportunities at the beginning of this year so far, all right? And he gets his chance and he strikes out the side. I don't understand, because this is a guy last season, he eats up innings, like turns everywhere you look. Bernardino's out of the bullpen. If he leaves Bernardino in, then he's not going to have this issue. He was a hot arm. I don't understand why you then put in Cooper Criswell to then blow that game. I don't think this happens if you leave Bernardino in.
7-run game. Are of all the things we can question Alex Cora on, are we going to question him for taking out a relief pitcher after one inning of work where he struck out the side in a 7-run game? Come on. No, the 9th inning is about Christian Campbell and the fact that he couldn't catch the baseball. It has nothing to do with Cooper Criswell or Brennan Bernardino or Alex Cora at all. The 9th inning, the story there is Campbell. What are we doing?
Again, we'll take your calls for the balance of the hour. So anything and everything on the Red Sox and really the let's call it the first week of the season as a whole. 4-4. The offense has awakened. Back-to-back home runs by Trevor Story and Abreu. And we'll get to Trevor Story in particular and my thoughts on him as well as Matt's when we come back in the Baseball Hour.
This is the Baseball Hour on the Sports Hub.
164 feet. His second home run of the season. What a way to open it up at Fenway.
Oh, you can't hang it. You can't hang it, Patty. He does exactly what he should do with that ball. It was beautiful with 2 strikes. We got a little Wally mask going on. The place is snapping out. Trevor Story just went bridge.
Day is swinging a shot. Abreu laying into one, backing up Walker, and that one is gone. The Red Sox go back to back. Wilyer Abreu with a laser beam into the bullpen. Hey, this is more like it. This is more like it. His third home run of the season.
Welcome back, Fenway Park. Right? This is the way it should be. And it hasn't been for some time.
Boy, came off the bat at 110.
6-4, 6-5, 8-5, 8-6, 11-6, 13-6, 13-9. That's how it ended over at Fenway. Red Sox with a couple of home runs. Those were the only 2 of the game. Story and Abreu. 2 for Story now on the year. Abreu, who is hitting everything in sight, is now batting. Let me find that batting average for you for the season on Abreu. Wilyer Abreu is batting .500 with 3 home runs already. He's also got 8 RBI in 8 games. Wilyer Abreu has been easily the best player in uniform for the Red Sox here in the early part of the year. I do want to touch on Trevor Story quickly, and again, we'll take your calls. 617-779-0985. Matt McCarthy, what do you expect from Trevor Story this year?
Not much, because I don't think he's a good enough hitter. That being said, he's an important guy. He's an X factor. He's a difference maker for this team. Because when you do get the good version of Trevor Story, which is healthy and heading for some power, that on a team that still is probably a little bit short with impact right-handed hitters, he's your 5 hitter. Trevor Story is a difference maker for this team, which scares me because I don't believe in him, and we've done 3 years on why you and I don't believe in Trevor Story. I don't think he's a great pure hitter. I think he's a mistake hitter, but can't capitalize on hard stuff away or hard stuff in if you're talking about a good slider or a fastball on the inside corner. But let me tell you, when you get this version of Trevor Story, this is kind of closer to the ceiling of the Red Sox offense if you get Trevor Story from 2019. I just don't think you're going to get that.
Okay, so to Story now again, 2 home runs, hit one in Baltimore. Was that yesterday? Or was that the day before that? 2 days ago. Yeah. The 3-0 game. He hit a home run in Baltimore in the 3-0 game 2 days ago. Homer today, and I would tell you that both home runs came on almost identical pitches.
Hanging sliders.
I used to call these things pancake sliders because they are flat as a pancake right in the middle of the plate. They are thigh high, right in the middle of the plate. And if pitchers throw that to Trevor Story, he will tattoo it.
Nope, no doubt.
Okay, it's got to be middle in. If it's on the outside edge of the plate, he might miss it. Particularly, it might be a little far out there. I don't know that he's going to be able to get the head of the bat on it because he tries to, I would say for the most part, tries to pull everything. Occasionally you'll see him go to right center and right field, but he doesn't do it well enough to be a high average hitter. If you get 250 and 20 home runs out of Trevor Story this year, take it and run.
And 140 games played.
Okay.
Most importantly.
Take it and run. So now I'm with McCarthy. I don't think Trevor Story is good enough to be, your number 4, number 5 hitter. And again, right now it's Duran, Devers, Bregman, Casas, Story. I would rather, I'll put it this way. If the Red Sox are going to be a legit playoff team that can put a scare in anybody, they're going to be able to do it better with Christian Campbell hitting higher in the lineup and Trevor Story hitting lower.
Campbell 2nd, Devers 3rd, Story dropped down to 7th.
Or, I'll tell you what, I'll take Campbell 5th. I don't care. Whatever it is. I'm just telling you I want him ahead of Story.
Yeah, and that's the highest ceiling for the Red Sox this year, Maz, because I don't believe in Story's ability to do it. I don't think he's a good enough hitter.
Story's an easy out if you pitch him right. Yep. And you know why he's hit 2 sliders for home runs? Because that's what he can catch up to. He's a mistake hitter. If you throw him velocity, and good velocity, not 92, you throw him 92, 93, he can handle it. You start getting up to 95, 96, he has difficulty with it, and then he becomes susceptible to breaking balls, particularly ones away.
Eric Fetty is the type of guy that he just feasts on. Is somebody not very good, the stuff isn't very good. Like, that's the type of guy that Trevor Story can hit. If you're a power righty coming out of a bullpen in the 7th or 8th inning, I don't want Trevor Story hitting in that situation.
I think he'll get blown away in those spots.
I do too.
Now, again, he'll have the occasional hit here and there, but you can overpower Trevor Story, and you can set him up with velocity. He'll hit bad pitching. That's what he's going to do. So get used to it. And in the big leagues, on a legit playoff team, he's a 6 or 7 hitter.
But
what he is.
Because he can field, Maz, if he stays healthy, Story and Bregman on the left side of that infield is a game changer.
Sure. I will also say
compared to what they've had in the past.
Yeah, Story's defense overall has been good today, good so far. And again, he made a play today, ranging up after they turned a good double play. Campbell turned that double play, and it was a good double play. He ranged up the middle, caught the ball, spun around, threw to first. Casas dropped the ball, and Story didn't look all that happy about it. But he's fine in the proper role. I'm just telling you, if you're going to be a championship team, he can't be your number 5 hitter. That's my opinion. Joe in a car. Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, Matt. I mean, what's your source about Devers boos? I was at the game today, and they're chanting Raffy. There's 30,000 people that are chanting Raffy. I mean, he had 3 bad games, but you guys are pushing a narrative that there's booing. There's nobody booing Raffy today. I don't understand.
So, Joe, I'm just telling you that I heard a little bit on the TV. I didn't hear it great. It sounded like there was just some undercurrent of it. I didn't say he was getting booed off the field. Matt McCarthy, you said you heard it on the radio?
Yeah, no, I did not hear it live on the radio. I heard the team radio broadcast talking about how there was a smattering of boos for Rafael Devers. So don't take it from me. Take it from the guys employed by the Red Sox.
And as we say all the time from 2 to 6, don't be so sensitive. Okay, don't be so sensitive. It didn't sound like a thunderous ovation for Rafael Devers. And I'm not telling you it was it was deafening boos. I'm just telling you that there seemed to be some undercurrent of boos when I heard it, and the radio broadcasters said the same thing. Ray and Revere. Ray, what do you got?
Yeah, I want to comment on these recent contracts. I actually like the approach that the Red Sox are taking, buying out the prime years of the young players. I mean, they were making mistakes for years, paying older free agents and even unproven amateur players. You go back and look at the Kyle Crawford contract or Rusney Castillo for $72 million. I mean, I can understand where John Henry was coming from, but you take a guy who's come through your minor league system like Christian Campbell, and you take a bet, or for that matter, you take more risk with Crochet. He's 25 years old. I think that's prudent. I think it's deliberate. And I think they can do it at scale, Tony. I'd like to see Abreu and Duran and potentially Casas get locked up like this. And I think that's the right approach.
Okay, so again, Ray, everyone praises this sort of approach, and you're not wrong. Who wouldn't do it that way? Who wouldn't? Everybody in their right mind would do it that way. You get good talent that's cheap. You try to sign them early so they don't hit the free agent market, and you get a better deal, and you just commit early. It's exactly what the Braves did with their guys. And everybody loves that model. So I have a hard time crediting the Red Sox, Matt, for being sort of ingenious for doing this when it's an obvious approach. And when it works, it's usually a sign that the player wants to play ball. So Casas doesn't have that deal yet. You know why? Because he doesn't want to do it. That's why. He would, or at least take less money. And Christian Campbell's going to regret that contract. Mark my words.
He should regret it right now. I can't believe they got him for $60 million.
Now, again, good for them. It's a smart move. It is. Good for them for doing it. But I don't think they're doing anything that any other team in baseball wouldn't do.
So in fairness to the Red Sox and this, the Breslow, I call it Theo Epstein regime, Heimblum didn't do this. So, whether or not ownership was invested or not.
He did it with Whitlock.
That was the only guy he did it with.
Okay.
And that was, real small time. 18
what other
million.
guys did they have to do it with?
Well, Casas, he's been up for a couple of years.
Okay, Casas still doesn't have one, though.
Bayo, they did it last year. So, he could have done it before. You're right, Maz. There weren't as many players coming up at that time, but there were some. There were a few. But I generally agree with you. Yeah, of course you want to sign Christian Campbell to that contract. Everybody would. I do give them credit for the crochet thing, though. I mean, there's a lot of risk in that deal. And is it top of the market? Is it max Fried? No. But they assumed some risk, and they took on a lot of risk with that contract. I still think it's a good contract for the team, but it's not something they were doing 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So I do give them some credit for shifting their approach. I just don't necessarily focus on the kids. I actually focus on the crochet thing more than anything.
Yeah, and I'll just say quickly on the crochet deal, I'm glad they signed him. Okay, that one's a little more complicated. I think that decision was made the day they traded for him. You don't give up 2 guys picked in the first round and 2 other guys, a package of 4 minor leaguers, for a guy who's 25 with the intention of keeping him for 2 years. So I feel like they committed to that one. I wasn't, again, I'm always fearful that they'll F it up, but I'm not shocked that they ultimately signed the contract. So, again, that one's a little different because of the money involved. But they wanted to sign Mookie Betts. Ray and Revere's been killing him for their development for years. They wanted to sign Mookie Betts. They just didn't offer him enough money. They would have been thrilled to sign Mookie Betts when he was young. He wouldn't do it. Casas wouldn't do it. I don't know if Roman Anthony's going to do it. Marcelo Meyer might not do it. So the question then becomes, then what? What do you do with those guys? My answer would be, in retrospect, pay out the nose. Just do it. Do what you did with Crochet. Pay out the nose. And again, they got Crochet before he had any real resume to speak of. Anyway, who's doing the headlines? McCarthy, you doing them? Okay, Matt McCarthy's got your headlines.
Brennan Donovan with his second home run of the season, and it is 6-5. They have homered in back-to-back innings against Walker Buehler.
Go behind him, with 2 outs. He wasn't happy, obviously, getting a 2-0. I said it before. This Cardinal team, second in baseball in runs scored per game. They have some guys that are swinging it, and they're swinging their way back into this one.
Lousy. So let me see if I can give you his exact numbers on the season. He is an 8.68 ERA, which, God, that blows. It's a running inning. He's giving up a running inning when he's on the mound. I mean, that sucks. Plain and simple. And I said this before they took the field today, that I think this is an important thing to watch. The starting pitching, which was supposed to be improved, thus far has been garbage. And so, and I'm giving you the aggregate, which includes Garrett Crochet. Now, you want to say, well, Crochet hasn't been garbage. True. But even with Crochet in there, the Red Sox right now, their starters have a 5.36 ERA, which ranks 25th out of the 30 teams in baseball. That is updated with today's game. So even with Crochet in there, they're in the mid-5s. It sucks. So the obvious message here is, if Crochet is a given, and I've said this, that as long as your other guys all give you 500, you should give in the high 80s. Again, to give you the simple math, he makes 32 starts and you go 22-10 in those games. You're 12 over, 87 wins. You're 87-75 if the rest of the time you play just 500 ball. Last year's team, 81-81. You do that for the 130 games that Garrett Crochet does not pitch. You'll win 87 games and you'll make the playoffs. But what if you don't win the games that Garrett Crochet pitches? And what if you want to get into the 90s? What if you want to be really good? You want to be, again, I always say the win total correlates to like a test in high school math. 87, B+. 94, A-A. 98, AA+. So you're getting into that range. Pretty simple. I mean, it's a simple thing in baseball. You want to be an A team, you're going to need Buehler and Houck to pitch better than they have.
Buehler is a critical guy for them. Kind of a ceiling guy, right? If you want to put it in that term, we were talking about how Story, if the Red Sox are going to reach their ceiling, Trevor Story needs to outperform our expectations of him. If the Red Sox are going to reach their ceiling, Walker Buehler needs to be a number 2 pitcher for this team, because he can be a number 2 pitcher.
Or one of them does.
Well, right, Buehler or Houck. I'm a huge Buehler guy. I love the signing. I love the pitcher. I have not loved what I've seen from him. His stuff hasn't looked good. That being said, I'm still hopeful because his stuff did look good in spring training. And I said, this is the Walker Buehler I've seen before. And he's a gamer. He's a big game pitcher. I have some faith in Walker Buehler. But I'm not going to lie, I have not liked what I've seen in the first 2 starts, because the stuff hasn't been as good as what I saw in Fort Myers, and it certainly hasn't been what I saw in October last year, where he was dynamite, Maz. I still think he can maybe be that guy for them eventually, but I haven't liked it so far. How could you?
So at the end of the day, Matt, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Buehler. I don't care if it's Houck. I don't care if it's Brian Bayo. I don't care if it's Richard Fitz. I don't care. Someone's got to come out of the woodwork. Someone in that group, and what they've gotten from those 2 guys, and Houck and Buehler right now are the best candidates. So far, they stink. Kevin in a car. Kevin, what do you got?
I called you yesterday on Felger and Maz regarding Alcantara, and you were not a fan. I think you should take...
That's not true. I didn't say I wasn't a fan. I just said he's coming off an injury. You need to see what the first half is like. But Sandy Alcantara can pitch. Go ahead.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we should buy early. Kevin, is what I'm saying.
Kevin, okay, thank you for the call. Why would they trade him now when the value is low? And again, I just get pissed off, Matt, when people tell me I say things that I didn't say.
Right.
I said that he's coming off an injury. He pitched reasonably well in the first game of the year, but I also think that the Red Sox have already traded a couple of big prospects, and if the price is high, I don't see them doing it.
Yeah, also, who makes...
I never said I didn't like the pitcher.
Who makes trades on April 4th in baseball? It doesn't happen. Call back in 2 months. We'll talk then.
So, I will just say to the caller, if my tone, my kids tell me my tone can be a little aggressive.
No,
okay?
really?
So if that's the case, don't take it personally. But I never said the guy sucked. And I'm happy to take your calls anytime. By all means. We encourage it. Matt in Boston and Christian Campbell. Go ahead, Matt.
Wait a minute. Yeah, hey, guys. I just have a quick question for you, Tony. When would he have become a free agent had Campbell not signed this deal?
6 years. So this is 25. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. After 30.
So he basically, this extension he signed gives them an extra 2 years of team control.
Correct.
Yes. Because I just can't understand. So now it makes more sense to me because I thought he would have been a free agent like 3 years, and I don't know why this guy signed this contract. I mean, seems like he's really handcuffing himself before he even gets going. You know?
Yeah, Matt, massive mistake. And again, I'm not picking on the kid. I'm picking on his agent, frankly. Massive mistake. This thing's an epic bargain. And even if he hits all the escalators, he's going to end up at like close to $96 million, I think I saw in Alex Spear's story. So 8 years, $96 million is 12 years if you get the 8 years out of him. Still a bargain.
Yeah.
Still way too low for him.
So, the attitude, do the same with Anthony, do the same with Meyer, do the same with everybody. Well, to your point, Maz, you need to have a willing partner on the other side. Campbell was. The reason he did it was he wanted to get upfront money and security, which, by the way, is something that matters a little bit more when you're a fourth-round pick compared to being a first-round pick like Marcelo Meyer, who got money right out of the bank. I mean, I'd have to go back and look. He probably got $6 to $8 million in signing bonus, I would have to guess. And Anthony was a sandwich pick. He was a first-round pick or maybe a high second-round pick.
I think he was second.
So there's more money that those guys got up front, whereas a guy like Campbell, college player too, I'd have to go back and look at it. He didn't get what those guys got, so he was a little bit more willing to play ball. But boy, did he leave a lot of money on the table. I mean, $60 million, you do that for 80. You don't do it for 60.
So and again, I just want to make this part clear. I'm not picking on Christian Campbell. Okay. He was a 4th-round pick. I have no idea, what the financial standing for him or his family is like. Whether he has to help pay for siblings to go to college, or I have no idea. And so I can understand why someone would take that money. I am looking at it purely in the context of a baseball contract. He's undervalued. Okay? It's a good deal for the Red Sox. I think it's a massive deal. Incredibly good deal for the Red Sox. Just 2 quick things on the defense today, because again, if you didn't hear it, there were a couple of plays. Jimmy, the Red Sox in the 6th inning, I thought that really the notable defensive plays of the game took place. The first was a double play that they turned. So, Jimmy, what did that sound like? I'm sort of springing this on you, Stu, so I apologize.
No, it was in the rundown. I lost it on my soundboard. Hang on.
No worries. Just let me know when you got it. There was and again, this was a double play that Campbell turned well.
2 down and a 2-1 to Walker. Ground ball up the middle. Oh, Story with a nice play to spin to throw. Oh, and it's dropped. Casas dropped it at first. Oh, would have been a sensational play. Casas could not hang on, and Walker is safe.
Jimmy, we can stop it there. So that is the play that came right after, and we don't have to play them for you in a particular order either. So they were on the verge of making 2 great defensive plays to end the inning. One was the double play, and then Story ranged to his left, made a nice grab up the middle, pirouette, spun counterclockwise, and threw a strike to Casas. Didn't bounce it. Didn't pull him off the bag. It was right to him. He dropped it. And when I say dropped it, I mean dropped it. Didn't have to scoop it. Didn't have to reach for it. Didn't have to lunge or go above his head for it. Right to him. He had to stretch a little bit. Didn't even have to stretch that far. Flat out dropped it. And that was like a sequence where I felt like that would have been a good opportunity for the Red Sox to come off the field and say, this is us. This is the new Red Sox. We hit, and now we can field. And Casas dropped it. Make no mistake, he is the weak link in that infield defensively. Maybe weaker than Campbell, but the right side is the weakest. Campbell has more athleticism than Casas does. Duran, I'm sorry, Dan in Hudson on Jaren Duran. Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, man, long time, first time.
Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Wondering, why do you think they haven't extended Duran, to at least 3-4 years? They're handing out long-term contracts like Halloween candy right now. Just wondering why you think they haven't extended him.
Okay, Dan.
I'll hang up and listen to you.
Yeah, excellent question. And I said this last year. Sean McAdam at one point, Matt, wrote last year that the Red Sox should approach Jaren Duran and give him some type of extension. I think counting this year, he's got 4 more before he's a free agent.
That's right, yeah.
So it's 25 and then 3 more, 6, 7, and 8. So
right.
He's not eligible for free agency until after 2028. I said last year they won't do it with him because he's already 28. By the time the deal ends, he'll be 31, and they don't want to pay for years 32 and 33. I know how they think over there. And so I don't think they're going to do it. They haven't done it yet. Should he be pissed about that?
He should be pissed about it, but they're approaching it the right way. They should pay just about everybody. They should not pay Jaren Duran because you don't pay speed guys into their 30s. And by the way, I heard that argument with Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is a different player than Jaren Duran. He's 28 years old. You're going to get him for the next 4 years. You have a crowded outfield situation coming your way. You pay Campbell, you pay Meyer, you pay Anthony, you don't pay Duran. You just don't.
And Jimmy, I think you said this the other day, Jimmy, right? The other reason you would not pay Jaren Duran?
Because I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's a leader. I think he's got other problems, like maybe Cora hates him.
So you worry about some of the attitude stuff?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I wonder about that, too. I mean, if, Campbell, Anthony, and Meyer are all supposed to be tremendous makeup guys. And Duran plays hard. But there have been some off-field things and some loose cannon kind of stuff that may have given the Red Sox pause. I would not rule that out.
There are some guys you pay them all they're worth, and there are other guys you milk them for all they're worth. And you hate to say it, but Jaren Duran is the latter of those. He just is.
We'll wrap it up with your calls, and I do want to touch on Louis Tion as well when we come back in the Baseball Hour. Sun's coming up here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sean Grandy, Cedric Maxwell. So we got to make this quick. An appreciation or anniversary of the 75 team today over at Fenway before the game. I'll spare you the details about all the particulars other than this part of it, which to me is the most notable because Louis Tiant obviously passed away last August. I'm not even sure how old Louis was, but 75, he must have been in his early 70s. And Matt McCarthy, you have a quick thought on Louis Tiant, don't you?
I'll never forget being in the backyard playing catch with my dad, him teaching me how to do the Louis Tiant. I actually thought that's how you had to pitch because my dad insisted that I did the Louis Tiant, learning how to play catch.
Well, he was really the first guy to sort of do that kind of stuff. And when I view every